article in the Wall Street Journal claims that the shift to the right in this election reveals that Americans view themselves as belonging to a particular economic class more than their race and gender. And Bill Maher said it's not the only thing Democrats got wrong.
The Democrats have a problem, and Bill Maher is calling them out for it.
Well, someone must tell the usual suspects on the far left that the saying is, when you're in a hole, stop digging, not keep digging.
That smug superiority vibe isn't winning any voters over. If anything, it's pushing people further away. He doesn't miss the opportunity to point out some of their ridiculous contradictions.
You wear Queers for Palestine t-shirts and masks 2 years after the pandemic ended. And you can't define woman, I mean person who menstruates. You're the teachers' union education party, and you've turned schools and colleges into a joke. You just lost a crazy contest to an actual crazy person.
That was savage, but he is not wrong. Some of their slogans and ideas fall apart when you really think about them. It's hard to take a message seriously when it keeps contradicting itself.
Democratic polling firm Blueprint told Democrats months ago that black voters, aka their supposedly liberal base, were more likely to find the president too liberal than too conservative. They also found that voters didn't just want Harris to distance herself from Biden, they wanted her to distance herself from what they believe the entire Democratic Party has become, a Portlandia sketch.
So, even the party's core voters aren't on board with the current direction? That says a lot.
What a shocker that the people who see everything through the lens of race and sex see their election loss as a result of racism and sexism. Yes, if only we weren't so irredeemably unenlightened, we would have elected a black president by now. Oh, what, we did? Oh, right, and then re-elected him. Maybe you missed it because it wasn't on TikTok.
This is a perfect example of blaming society instead of taking responsibility. He also pointed out how these attitudes make the gap even bigger.
Do problems remain pertaining to racism and sexism? Of course. But a poll last year asked, if America is the greatest country in the world, more blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people.
It shows that the loudest voices aren't always the most representative. Sometimes the people claiming to fight for a group are completely out of sync with what that group actually thinks.
It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us.
It sums up the disconnect between abstract activism and practical needs. People aren't asking for performative gestures, they're asking for real, tangible solutions to everyday problems.
Kamala spent 100 days telling voters, I know it feels like crime and illegal immigration are bad, but fuck your feelings, look at this chart. Yes, there's a lot to not like already about the new regime, but maybe take 1 week to ask what you did wrong.
It's the typical just look at the numbers approach, while ignoring people's real-life concerns. They can throw as many charts at the problem as they want, but if they don't listen to real-life experiences, it just feels like people are being ignored.
The basis for Democratic campaigns has become, we're the smart people. That we know from the get-go. No need to look into that. We know that a priori, which is a Latin phrase the Red Hat people wouldn't have a clue about.
Claiming to be the smartest person in the room without listening to anyone else can easily lead to being the most out-of-touch person there.
Have you seen my "In this house we believe" lawn sign? See, it says right on it, we believe in science. Right, which is why you demanded no one even debate whether COVID could have escaped from the one lab in the one city where they were studying it. How far-fetched. The New York Times called it racist.
The whole, we know what's best for you, so don't ask questions thing is not a good look, especially when it comes to something as big as a global pandemic.
Democrats have become like a royal family that, because of so much incest, has unfortunately had children who are retarded.
He is throwing shade at how the same group of people keep circulating through the system without any fresh perspectives.
Maybe take the clothespins off your noses and actually converse with the other half of the country. Stop screaming at people to get with the program and instead make a program worth getting with. What good is liberalism if you don't win elections?
This one's pretty brutal, but true. If elections aren't being won, ideas are just that. Well, ideas. It's not just about forcing views on people, but understanding where they're coming from. Problems can't be fixed without being willing to meet people halfway.
Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton said, "I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that." But his campaign manager immediately resigned in protest. Let me make this as plain as I can to the smart people. The campaign manager who resigned, yeah, let that person go.
That was harsh, but he has a fair point. We can't have people holding the party back just because they're uncomfortable with the direction things are going.
Making too woke be a cancelable offense. It's important for America to have a center-left party, and for that party to be competitive. And a good first step toward that goal would be to make the voters not want to punch you in the face.
That is a very good solution. If the left wants to stand a chance, they need to find that middle ground, where they can actually win over enough people without alienating the ones who matter most.
I will conclude by saying the reason I'm so mad at the Democrats is because as a voter, the issues that were important to me were democracy and the environment. And now, there's no one to champion or defend either of them because you, with your aggressively anti-common sense agenda and shitty exclusionary attitude, blew it. You lost everything. House, Senate, White House, Supreme Court, and left us completely unprotected and ready to be violated. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody!
This really sums it up. He is a voter just like anyone else. And speaking as one, the issues that should have been front and center, which is democracy and the environment, are now getting neglected. It's like the party's been so caught up in fighting that they forgot why they're supposed to be in power in the first place. Bill Maher gave a really good insight. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below.